Hey guys, what's up? It's Taylor. I'm here again with another Monday vlog video, and today I wanted to talk about indie games and sort of their impact on the industry this year, especially in regards to Game of the Year nominees and how they've sort of gained recognition and legitimacy in the industry. Now, last week there were a lot of outlets that gave out their Game of the Year nominees. IGN did this cool thing called Judgment Day where they brought in some of the developers for each game, and they talked about their game, and then they held a panel where fans could ask their questions. And also Game Informer, I believe, released their top 50 games of the year. And of course, there is the infamous Spike Video Game Awards show that was last Friday, and they had their nominees out for a while. But I think one thing that kind of caught a lot of people by surprise, or maybe didn't, was that a lot of these nominations were for indie games. In particular, the big ones, at least, that got nominated in most of these outlets, nominated for Best Game of the Year were Journey, Unfinished Swan, FTL, Faster Than Light, even Hotline Miami, and of course the big winner from Friday, the Walking Dead game. And that's sort of debatable whether the Walking Dead game is an indie game because they're sort of a bigger studio, but they are an independent publisher. They don't have a third party publishing their games, and they're working with, obviously a big IP like The Walking Dead. So that's debatable, but their distribution model and their pricing is kind of in line with indie being like digital only, although they will be releasing a hardcover with all the episodes coming out soon. But I kind of just wanted to discuss that because, say what you want about the VGAs, but they are voted on by editor-in-chiefs and various industry folks that, they have a lot of impact and they do a lot of writing. And it's not just, Jeff Keighley and his pals in the back room or whatever. They're legitimate writers and people that cover games, for a living. And so it was really refreshing to see something like The Walking Dead win Game of the Year when Black Ops 2 and Halo 4 were not even nominated. I believe the Game of the Year nominees were Journey, The Walking Dead, Assassin's Creed 3, Dishonored, and Mass Effect 3. Now, to me, I would have guessed, I would have thought that Dishonored or Assassin's Creed 3 would have won. I wanted Journey to win, but The Walking Dead won, and I just finished The Walking Dead last night being Saturday at the time of this recording, and it was unbelievable, absolutely an unbelievable story, amazing. I've never had a game grip me like that before, ever. And it's debatable whether it's a game or not because, it's a lot of point and click and just a lot of cutscenes and stuff, but it is a game. People consider it a video game, so it's worthy of being in that discussion. And I think it's really cool to see some of these indie games getting this sort of recognition. I mean, in years past, you'd have these kind of critical darlings that went on to have a lot of financial success like Braid, Super Meat Boy, Minecraft, Fez, and on. But now we're at the point where these indie games are being considered for Game of the Year. I mean, heck, the Journey soundtrack was the first video game soundtrack ever to be nominated for a Grammy. Now, granted, the Civilization 4 song was the first video game song, but this is the first soundtrack to ever get nominated for a Grammy. And considering that it's an indie game, that's absolutely incredible. And I just think it's so cool to see how far the industry has come along to the point where these small indie games are having such a big impact. And that's where the big innovation is coming through, are in these indie games. Obviously, storytelling with The Walking Dead, very innovative multiplayer with Journey. I mean, Journey is one of the most incredible gaming experiences I've had this year. And while I haven't played Hotline Miami or Faster Than Light, I've had a lot of people tell me, and I've heard a lot of stuff about it on Twitter, where people are just in love with these games. You're sort of, building your own story in a way with FTL and the way that you play the game, and it's like this very dynamic events that happen. So they're pushing the envelope in how games are played. And I think when we look back on 2012, we're not going to say, oh wow, Black Ops made more money than any small country. Assassin's Creed did this really interesting setting. Halo 4 was Halo 4. No, we're going to remember the very unique experience. Like, remember that first time you played Journey and you walked around and you were playing with somebody, but you couldn't talk to them. You couldn't type out to them. It was just how you played the game with them is how you communicated. Or that moment in The Walking Dead. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but that moment in The Walking Dead that made you tear up. And maybe you've never teared up in a game, or you choked up playing a game. or maybe, like I said, that dynamic moment in FTL, or just the very cool way you explored the world in The Unfinished Swan. 2012 is going to be a big year for indie games, because now people will be like, me and my two pals can make a game and it could reach the point of Game of the Year status. Now, a lot of people are arguing that these aren't legit. Like, I know a lot of the people from Game Trailers, in particular Shane Satterfield and Michael Pachter, had been saying, oh, these games shouldn't even be in the realm of the discussion. They shouldn't. Walking Dead and Journey shouldn't even be in the discussion because they're shorter and the teams aren't as big and they have no prayer. Well, they're both eating crow right now, because obviously Walking Dead won and Journey is getting nominated for Game of the Year almost like unanimously across every outlet. It may not win, but it's getting nominated, and I think that's cool. So I just wanted to put that out there because I have really been enjoying a lot of these games. And when I look back on 2012, I'm like trying to remember certain games. Like, yeah, for me personally, like Gravity Rush sticks out because that was pretty cool. Persona 4, obviously. But Journey is really that one experience. Is like, wow, that was so different. And The Walking Dead, that story was so incredible. So when I go and sit and think about 2012, it's those unique experiences that I'm going to remember, not like, ooh, that one cool multiplayer match in PlayStation All-Stars, or that one record I got in Gravity Rush. Now, as fun as those were, these are going to be games that are going to, stand the test of time, and people are going to be talking about for a long time, and they're going to set standards in the industry. And I just think that's so cool that these are coming from quote-unquote indie games. So that's what I wanted to get out there, guys. But I also really want to hear what you think about this. What do you think about all these indie games getting nominated for Game of the Year? Do you think The Walking Dead is considered a quote-unquote indie game? Do you think it deserves to be in the discussion? Do you think any of these indie games deserve to be in the discussion for Game of the Year? And do you think they should have their own category? Should it not be included at all? I want to hear any and all of your thoughts, because that's what these vlogs are all about. I want to get a discussion with you guys. So anyway, stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed the folklore video. I will be doing a top 10 games of the year video coming soon. And if I haven't time to squeeze one in, I will do a mini episode for Christmas. And then, of course, the massive preparation for Ni no Kuni begins for that crazy, crazy review that I'll be doing soon. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll talk to you soon.